So I think one thing that becomes, well, actually, I don't know if this is true because I'm not in anyone else's body, but it seems like one of the things that becomes more obvious when we're not seeking in the normal ways. Not that that can't arise, but you see that it won't really fulfill you in the way that you thought. You're just kind of trying to achieve an idea that isn't this, that isn't reality. So when that movement isn't as convincing, I think what has the opportunity to reveal itself is the discomfort, the dissatisfaction, the boredom, the not enoughness. And it could be intertwined with I'm not enough. Like I don't feel satisfied. I don't feel good enough. So that can really reveal itself and it's highly uncomfortable. It's probably what we've been trying to run from potentially. And so now when I see people, it's not only that I don't see anyone, um, but it kind of shows me how sad it is to be a human, to be so self-critical. Obviously, there are nice parts as well, but I feel like a lot of us are just never feeling good enough. Like we always have to tweak ourselves, think a different way, feel a different way, act a different way. If I was a little more like this, if this didn't arise anymore, then but in the story, since the beginning, you were never a problem. There was never anything wrong with you. You couldn't even be defined a certain way. So not only are you perfectly fine exactly the way you are, you see that you can't even know yourself. There isn't actually something in the body. that is producing all of this, the thoughts, feelings, the knowing and the meaning of what that is not actually real. It's just what we've been conditioned to believe is the meaning of all of that stuff. So if you're good enough as you are, and there's nothing to fix, nothing to change, nothing to make better, then I think it's understandable that it might be sometimes difficult to function if that was your primary reason for living. Like that was the meaning and purpose to develop oneself, to become better. So this is what I don't even know what I talk about anymore. I but that's kind of the transition that the body is going through. Like how does it live without that meaning and purpose and becoming better? The idea of better. It's not even becoming better. So you most likely will be confronted with a lot of unknown, yeah, not knowing where this is going. But that's okay. That's actually, it seems like that burning up the discomfort of not knowing is it feels like that's how that personal will that thinks it's in control, thinks it's in charge of everything, it kind of burns up and and then you can see naturally that there's no one here and that there's no one in control, no one at the center of anything. So it's not the self that can get to it. It's something that's more revealed or it becomes more obvious. But it's definitely not an add-on. It's not a position that you take or something to believe, somewhere to stay. It doesn't really work like that. So I think the more it's seen that the body still functions, it still goes about stuff without meaning, without purpose, without needing this to become something better. Um, there's nothing to achieve, nothing to become. This isn't going anywhere. Nothing's really happening. Yeah, it's kind of just fine. But I do notice that the mind has a tendency to um, still think of the future in a way, even though it doesn't exist. And it's not taken as a sign of anything. It's like the functioning of, I don't know, it's just a thought that arises. Yeah, it's just a thought that arises, doesn't mean anything. So you're welcome to interact. Could raise your hand. Yeah, take your time and just freely express what's going on there.